Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in because today we're breaking down something that literally all of us do every single day, yet honestly, very few of us have actually mastered it. We're looking at the ultimate duality of human connection based on some seriously fascinating source materials we've been analyzing. Yep, we are talking about the yin and yang of communication. And it brings up a really fascinating paradox. Just think about the most powerful communicator you personally know. I bet you're realizing right now that the loudest person in the room, well, they aren't always the most powerful, right? But at the exact same time, the absolute quietest person isn't always heard either. So where exactly is that sweet spot? How do you command a room without shouting? And how do you listen without just fading into the background? Well, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll hit the communication paradox. Second, the art of confident speaking. Third, keeping your audience captivated. Fourth, the hidden power of silence. And finally, number 5, mastering the perfect balance. Okay, let's dive right into section 1, the communication paradox, finding the balance between words and silence. So, the fundamental concept we really need to grasp right off the bat is that communication is entirely a two-sided coin. Our source material absolutely hits the nail on the head with this quote. Hard skills will get you an interview, but soft skills will get you the job. And man, that is so true. Your degree, your coding ability, your technical know-how, those things, they just get your foot in the door. But soft skills, that's the whole shebang. That's everything that helps you actually do the job and navigate life effectively. Mastering both the active side of speaking and the receptive side of listening, that is the ultimate soft skill. It's the ultimate separator. Which brings us to section 2, the art of confident speaking, mastering the active side of communication. Now, a lot of people think confidence is just something you're born with, but the sources reveal that anxiety in high-pressure situations is actually completely killed by two very specific things: preparation and vocal control. Take the absolute most dreaded interview question of all time. Tell me about yourself. Exceptional communicators don't just wing it. They don't make up answers on the spot. They use a clear framework. Familiarity, meaning you research the company and the role. Focus, highlighting the specific, relevant experiences you actually bring to the table. And fit, connecting the dots to show exactly why your skills make you the absolute perfect match for their mission. Seriously, run through this 5 times before a big conversation, and you'll watch your anxiety just totally melt away. But look, knowing what to say is only half the battle, right? Knowing how to say it is where dynamic speaking comes into play. This is all about pitch control. If you want to make a firm statement and sound incredibly certain, you just lower the pitch of your voice at the very end of a sentence. It sounds grounded, it sounds confident. But if you raise the pitch of your voice at the end of a sentence, it conveys curiosity, it signals openness, almost like you're asking a question and inviting the other person in. This tiny, slight dynamic variation completely changes how an audience perceives your confidence. It's a total game changer. Moving right along to section 3, keeping your audience captivated, clarity, opinions, and connection. So once you actually have their attention, how do you hold on to it? Well, honestly, it's kind of hilarious. Which of these defines a machine better for a general audience? Anything that reduces human effort, or any combination of bodies so connected that their relative motions are constrained? And it just goes on and on. It's totally absurd. A massive mistake people make when talking about their interests or their ambitions is sacrificing clarity just to sound complex. True charm, true communication comes from actually being understood. Speak at the level of your listener. Don't hide behind a dictionary. And when you're making conversation, especially about personal interests like art, movies, or books, you can't just say you liked it. That's a total conversational dead end. You have to talk about exactly why you liked it. Our source uses this really beautiful example about the Mahabharata. Don't just say it's a good epic. No, explain how there are layers, stories within stories, and complex characters where there's no perfect right or wrong. Being able to express a well-thought-out opinion like that is exactly what makes you incredibly charming and captivating to listen to. So how do we actually apply this to group settings? Because let's be real, those can be super intimidating. Here are some rapid-fire tactics for you. First up, inclusive eye contact. Just look at everyone for a split second while you talk so they all feel included. Second, if you're making a point that's relevant to a specific person, look directly at them. Third, if you're naturally a bit quiet, lean on the yes and technique. Listen, agree, and then just build right on top of what someone else just said. And finally, in a group of friends, it is completely okay to let people speak over you. Only raise your voice to speak over others if you have something truly important and valuable to add to the mix.
All right, let's shift gears a bit for section 4. The hidden power of silence, the strategic yin of communication.
Sun Tzu famously said, "He who knows when to speak and when not to speak always wins." And this brilliantly illustrates something we often forget. Silence is so often misinterpreted as weakness, or maybe a lack of knowledge. But in reality, it is an incredibly powerful tactical tool. Think about it. When you are silent, you put your opponents or your counterparts into this deep thinking state. They get a bit confused, they wonder what your plan is, and they start losing their focus, all while you completely maintain yours.
So, the crucial point here is knowing exactly when to deploy your words. The sources reference Buddha's 3 gates of speech, which is just a fantastic framework. Before you say something, filter your thoughts through these 3 steps. 1, is what you're about to say valuable? 2, is it necessary right now? And 3, will it actually make a difference, or will it just go in one ear and out the other? By filtering our thoughts like this, we stop speaking just to seek validation or attention, and because of that, the words we do choose to say become 10 times more impactful.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's break it down. When a teacher goes totally silent in a noisy classroom, what happens? They grab immediate attention. Our brains are quite literally wired to notice when the noise stops. Next, when you choose to listen instead of talk, you build deep, lasting trust. People genuinely feel important and valued when you truly hear them. And finally, when you just sit with your own thoughts in silence, without needing to constantly broadcast your life to everyone else, you build this unshakable sense of self-worth. And the best part? It doesn't rely on external validation at all. And I really want to highlight this highly practical, incredibly powerful anecdote from the source material. It proves that silence translates directly to power and, yeah, even money. Just imagine you're in a salary negotiation. They give you an offer that's, let's say, a bit lower than you want. Instead of immediately arguing back and defending your worth, just sit there in uncomfortable silence. People absolutely hate uncomfortable silence. They will inevitably start speaking just to fill that empty void in the room. And when they do, they will almost always reveal more information or even negotiate against themselves and offer you a better deal. That is the sheer power of saying absolutely nothing.
Let's bring this all home with section 5, mastering the perfect balance, bringing the duality together.
So when we actually bring this duality together, we're looking at the active speaker versus the active listener. The active speaker uses inclusive eye contact, masterful pitch control, and super clear frameworks to convey confidence and clarity. On the flip side, the active listener uses observation, strategic silence, and a strict mental filter to build trust and gather information. The ultimate takeaway from our sources today is that you simply cannot be truly captivating if you only do one of these. The most powerful communicator in any room is the person who knows exactly how to transition seamlessly and flawlessly between both of these states.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a rather provocative question to carry with you into your next meeting, your next interview, or even just your next conversation with a friend. Ask yourself, are you speaking to truly add value, or are you just speaking because you're afraid of the silence? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep practicing those frameworks, start embracing those quiet moments, and I'll see you next time as we continue to break down the complex world around us.